From the New Arts and Media Studios in Milwaukee, I'm Charles Purcell. This is The Log. All right, this attack in Lebanon by Mossad. They're like the Israeli CIA. Well, if you haven't heard the news, it happened yesterday and again today. I'm recording this on Wednesday, the 18th. So yesterday, about 2,700 injured, hundreds critically, 12 dead from exploding pagers. Israeli intelligence somehow figured a way to infiltrate the supply chain between the manufacturer of these pagers and their customers in Lebanon, many of whom were Hezbollah activists, officials, whatever. And they put this little explosive right next to the battery, and then they were able to send a message that simultaneously blew up 1,000 pagers at the same time. So 1,000 different people holding them in their hand, wearing them on their hip, holding them next to their face, looking at them. If you've seen some of the video, it's gruesome. So this is what we're down to now. This is war. This is how humans are interacting now. I mean, we've always had war. It's bad enough. Let's invent new ways to be just vile and sick and depraved. And then today, again with walkie-talkies this time. 9 dead, 300 injured, including, non-combatants, women, children, of course, because that's the way it goes. So this is what we're down to. And no condemnation from anybody that I can find. Nobody. In fact, just the opposite. What I'm hearing, I'm tuning around trying to find some reports. I'm looking at some stories. And all the people, they're interviewing intelligence experts and military experts. And how did they do this? And what's going on? And mostly it's admiration. Using words like, oh, it was remarkable. It was stunning. It was incredible. Extraordinary technology and spycraft. A major intelligence success. So this is who we are. And Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, kind of just throw their hands up. Oh, we were surprised by this. No condemnation. Well, we just urge everyone to take a step back, take a breath. The same thing you always hear. And Hezbollah will do what they always do. They'll talk tough and they'll respond in some way, but they don't want to have an all-out war because they know their asses will be just kicked from here to Wednesday. So they can't afford to do that. If they thought they could win, certainly they would escalate to a full-fledged war, but they know they can't win. The point being, this is just all, we're depraved. We're just going to new lows. And I kick myself almost on a daily basis. Like, how can you continue to be surprised? How can you continue to be shocked? Well, I don't know how to judge that. I'd like to think that, well, I'm hanging on to my humanity by a thread. The day I'm not shocked by something like this, I'm gonna that's when I just throw in the towel. Like, okay, well, you got me too. I guess I've lost my humanity as well. Because a whole hell of a lot of people seem to have lost their humanity. Even to just think of doing this, to like, hey, I got an idea. To sit around the conference table and say, hey, I got a plan here. Check this out. You think this might work? We can infiltrate the supply chain and we can jerry-rig these pagers. The reason they were using pagers in the first place, if you're not following this story, Hezbollah figured that they were safer than smartphones because they thought Israel could probably monitor their cell phones. So for confidential communication, they went back to this sort of 90s technology of pagers. And Israel thought, all right, somebody thought this was a good idea. And then these 1,000 different little bombs we've sent along to Lebanon. Who knows who's going to have them at the moment we set them off. Might be a child. Might be a mother. Who knows? Who cares? And then the U.S. press calls it remarkable and stunning and a major intelligence success. What have we become? Okay, I got to talk a little bit about Springfield. Last week's episode of The Log, we talked about the debate, of course, and we had to mention the Orange Menace and his strange outburst about eating the dogs. And at the time, it's talk about being depraved and sinking to new lows. There we are. But at the same time, it was so absurd that it was kind of funny. But within minutes, within certainly the next 24 hours, it was clear that there was just almost nothing at all funny about this. This is like horrible and sick. When the governor has to send state troopers to public schools to protect little children, all because of this heinous lie that Haitian immigrants are eating pets, which is just a 1,000% lie, and everybody knows it, including J.D. Vance and the Orange Menace. Over the weekend, then, they just continue to go lower and lower. And the threats of violence continued, bomb threats. They just shut down the town. And the Orange Menace and J.D. Vance almost seem to be almost enjoying it. And then the rhetoric even escalates from there. Now we're talking about not only threats of violence from crazy anonymous bomb threat callers, right out of the little stupid orange anus mouth of this guy, he's talking about, mass deportation. We're going to start with Springfield, where, of course, as you should know, all of these Haitian immigrants are legal immigrants. None of them are illegal. I mean, they lie about the most obvious things, the most easily checkable, the easily Googleable things. They just don't care. So now we're talking about deporting legal immigrants here in America. Somebody pulled out something from Stephen Miller. You remember Stephen Miller, the very kind of ghoulish, weird-looking guy who was a top advisor of the Orange Menace in his first administration, has been close with him ever since. He was the architect, really, we came to learn, of the whole southern border policy about family separation and making it as cruel as possible to deter people from coming. And he's from, we know about Stephen Miller from his high school days when he was writing in his school paper, all of his jingoistic, Islamophobic and xenophobic bile. So he's a bad guy. So he's talking about now, and I'm not sure if this is old or new, but it was recently covered in the press, that he really wants to denaturalize American citizens and deport them. So it's not good enough anymore to deport illegal immigrants. He wants to denaturalize American citizens and send them back to wherever. And it doesn't really matter where. You may have heard the Orange Menace said we're going to send the Haitians to Venezuela for some reason. I don't know what that was all about. But it just got worse and worse as the week continued. Bomb threats, schools closed, municipal buildings, bomb threats closed, bomb threats on a medical center closed, locked down. A couple of colleges, universities going to online learning closed. Their doors closed. There was some big event, some cultural event, like an annual cultural event that had to be canceled. And the residents themselves, these poor Haitian residents being harassed, and the Proud Boys showed up. The Orange Menace promises now he's going to go to Springfield. Apparently there were some KKK pamphlets being passed around town that literally used the same font and some of the same wording as old-time Nazi, 1930s Germany Nazi pamphlets. They were copied. I mean, these are just... This is what the right wing wants. This is what MAGA wants. Which brings us now to the assassination attempt. And the right wing, the MAGAs, blaming Democrats for language that is inspiring these assassination attempts. Well, okay, let's just be real clear. A couple things to say here. Number one, assassination. Well, first of all, any violence of any kind, zero. Zero, zero, zero. Zero tolerance from this program, zero tolerance from behind this microphone, zero tolerance for any violence. Even, you and I have talked about this before. There was quite a debate remember when you didn't know the word Antifa? Remember when you first heard the word Antifa? It probably was from a right-wing propagandist lying about Antifa. The first time I heard the term, because I am of the left and I have friends and communication and I read books and I read articles and that's my world. I know the left. Okay, so I knew the word Antifa months and months and months, years before the mainstream media picked it up and before the right-wing propagandists lied about Antifa. And for those couple of years, those of us on the left were having quite a debate among ourselves. Is it okay to protect ourselves physically? For example, if there's going to be a march, if there's going to be a protest, some kind of event, and we know that the Proud Boys and the militia types are probably going to try to rough us up. So, fellow lefties, again, this conversation was happening among people on the left. Is it or is it not okay to have what was then coming to be known as Antifa? In other words, if they punch, we're going to punch back. We are going to have a physical presence. And if they start something, we're not going to start anything. That was always the promise. We will never start anything, but we will damn well finish it. And this was quite a debate. And I myself went back and forth. I wasn't really sure how I felt about it. To this day, I'm not sure. I can't land on a comfortable position. Is it okay to punch a Nazi? The classic question. My gut tells me yeah, but it's tough. Okay, now take this same conundrum to the level of assassination. Now we're talking violence at a level that is 1,000% unacceptable. I might have issues about, punching a Nazi in a protest. I don't know. I honestly don't know. But I have no question. I have no doubts at all. And it sounds almost silly to say it. I shouldn't have to say it. But I oppose assassination. That's like saying I oppose slavery. That's like saying puppies are cute. Yeah, okay, right, we got it. We know, we all know. But you have to say it out loud today, I guess. I oppose assassination. And there are several good reasons, actually. First is the obvious. You just don't do it. It's just wrong. It's just, you don't have to have any particular moral code or religious affiliation, or I myself am an atheist. None of that matters. This is just a universal truth in my mind. Just don't go killing people. Well, now wait a minute. Wouldn't you kill baby Hitler? There's another little thought experiment. Don't get me started on that, because I don't know. That'll take me down a rabbit hole. Have you and your friends had the baby Hitler debate? Bring that up at your next little family barbecue or get together. Well, the holidays are coming up here, so next time you get together, maybe around the Thanksgiving table, it'd be a great conversation to have. Would you kill baby Hitler if you had the chance? All right. Well, okay. I'm getting off the point here. I'm opposed to assassination. Now, there are a couple of other reasons, really practical ones. It invites reprisals from your enemy. And you just can't go down that road, because they're going to, it's going to happen. And related to that, but also separate from that, it normalizes. It normalizes the thing. The more something happens, the more it becomes normalized. So you get copycats. Who knows what this latest guy, this Ryan Routh or Ruth, I don't know if the first assassination attempt hadn't happened, maybe this one wouldn't have. Maybe it triggered him. I don't know. So yeah, it's just A, it's just bad. B, it invites reprisal, and C, it normalizes it, and we just can't have it. We can't descend into that world. All right, some other thoughts I have on this. You can't protect the Orange Menace if he chooses to go out golfing. It can't be done. The Secret Service can't be expected to do this anymore. I mean, yeah, there's a certain level where they can and should protect any candidate for president, any former president, of course. If a candidate or former president falls under their protection, they should do what they can with the resources they have. But this is ridiculous. Asking them to protect the Orange Menace at his Palm Beach golf course is just stupid. It butts up right against these major streets. I heard a report that the Secret Service went to the Orange Menace. This was, I don't remember when this was. And they showed him pictures of himself golfing, taken with a long-range lens. And they said, these are pictures taken by photographers who found a way to get through, they hide in the hedges, and they get pretty good photographs of you. And he said, okay. And they said, well, don't you realize what this means? If a photographer can do it, a shooter can do it. You really can't go out golfing at your courses. You have to do what other presidents have done, including Obama and W. They would go to more secluded courses or even on military bases. I didn't know they had golf courses on military bases. This was new to me, and I'm so happy to learn that approaching $1 trillion military budget that we're paying for, I'm just so happy to hear that some of it's going to golf courses. Good for them. So the Secret Service warned the Orange Menace. He said, oh, screw it. I don't care. I'm going to keep doing it. I'll do what I want. So, screw him. He can't be protected, and you can't jump on the Secret Service. Yeah, the first attempt a month or two ago, whenever that was, yeah, it looked, from all reports, it looked like they really screwed the pooch on that one. They messed up. But this one, plus, here's something else that I didn't hear. What is the rule? What are the rules of engagement for Secret Service? Because apparently, I guess the way it went, a couple of agents would go to the next hole while Fat Butt Orange Menace was golfing at the previous hole, right? So if he's on 5, they go to 6, and they sort of, comb the area. And so that was the situation when they saw the barrel of this gun poking through the hedges. The Orange Menace was nowhere near. He's like 500 yards away, around the corner, not in the sight at all of the shooter or the would-be shooter. He never did shoot. So they just opened fire, bang, bang, bang on. I hope he was pretty damn sure that it was a gun barrel and not a photographer's lens, because he just opened up, boom, boom. He didn't say, freeze, walk out slowly with your hands over you. No, nothing. He didn't radio his other guys and say, go around the street there, come up from behind this guy and be careful because it looks like he's got a gun. No, nothing. Zero communication. Didn't call anybody. Didn't call out to the alleged shooter. Just open fire. Bang, bang, bang. Maybe I'm stupid right now. Maybe I'm insane to say this. What are the rules of engagement and why did you just shoot? Maybe I'm the idiot because not one single person. And I just, I sought out all the coverage and I read lots of articles. I didn't find anybody questioning the rules of engagement. They all said, he did great. Good for him. Yeah, really? Okay. All right. I'm the idiot. I don't know what's going on. And this Ryan Routh, I'm gonna choose Routh because who cares? People love to say, and the Orange Menace especially, how these people are monsters. The left likes to say how they're insane. Well, this guy is not a monster, and he's not insane. He's, by all accounts, a pretty accomplished guy. Now, yeah, his ideas are all over the map, and, I don't think I'd want to hang out with the guy. And he's got all these different federal charges that he's been convicted of in prior years. So, yeah, he's not a good guy by any stretch. But he gets up out of every day out of bed and well, he used to. He's in jail now, but he would accomplish things. He wrote a book, a self-published book, and he traveled around the world. He tried to fight with Ukraine. He said, give me a gun, I'll fight with you. He's very committed to these issues, and don't get me wrong, I'm not singing his praises. All I'm saying is he's not a wild, insane monster. He's a pretty accomplished radical who's got some mixed up ideas about politics. I guess his latest idea was that he wanted to vote for Nikki Haley and Vivek Ramaswamy. That was the ticket he wanted. He had voted for the Orange Menace in 2016. He became very disillusioned. So that's one mark on his side. But the point is, he's not just crazy. He's not just a monster. He thought that fighting for Ukraine would be a good thing to do. He thought that shooting the Orange Menace would be a good thing to do because he's someone who believes in assassination. In fact, he wrote in the aforementioned book, he recommended that Iran should assassinate the Orange Menace as a payback for the Orange Menace assassinating Soleimani. You remember that, right? At the time, what was Soleimani's first name? I can't remember. Looking at my notes, I guess I don't have it here. Yeah, Soleimani, big military leader, really the second highest figure in all of Iran. The second highest figure, beloved by millions of people. And the Orange Menace obviously believes in assassination. He thinks it's a good idea because he did it. He assassinated Soleimani. So, Ryan Ruth agrees with the Orange Menace. Sometimes assassination just has to be done. And that brings us back to the baby Hitler thing. Again, have your little Thanksgiving conversation. Would you kill baby Hitler? And from the day the Orange Menace came down that damned golden escalator and called Mexicans rapists and murderers, as I said, I continue to be shocked every day. He goes to a new low every single goddamn day. Immigrants are poisoning the blood of America. They spread disease. They have low IQ. Straight out of Mein Kampf. And now they're eating pets. This is 1,000% pure Nazi bullshit. So if someone decides to take him out, and then they've got the absolute gall to turn around and blame the left for careless language that is inspiring these attempts, that the language, the rhetoric, is escalating and creating the violence. Yeah, both of the would-be assassins were registered Republicans. And, that's not really the point here. I mean, God forbid it happens again from an actual lefty. That's my greatest fear. It could happen. But the very fact that they turn it around and try to blame the left is just insanity. Well, let me take that back. They know what they're doing. They absolutely know what they're doing. The Orange Menace knows what he's doing. His weirdo VP nominee knows what he's doing. Everybody who defends them, it's like a drug, You got to keep upping the dose to get the high. So he's just upping it and upping it by going deeper and deeper into his base. I think he knows he can't win another single vote from any sane person in America. He's got all the votes he can possibly get. I think he's going deeper and deeper into his base for, the tech bros, the racists, the incels, the conspiracy theorists, the white nationalists, the weirdos. He's going for the Joe Rogan listeners and the Jordan Peterson adorers and the Laura Loomer crowd, about Laura Loomer, Kanye, RFK. I think he really wants these people. I think that his voters and the voters he's after say, screw it. I just want what's mine. I don't want anybody else to have it. I'll fight for it. They think that anybody who gets any kind of economic justice or social justice is somehow taking something away from them. They've got this cynical, nihilistic attitude that there's only so much to go around in the world, and I'm going to get it. I'm going to win. I'm going to be a winner. That means other people have to lose. Right, so be it. Fine. Losers can suck it. And I sure as hell am not going to give my hard-earned money to losers and suckers, and especially not to create sort of special treatment for minorities or for LGBTQ people, and especially, my God, not for immigrants. Are you kidding me? Especially black and brown immigrants. I really think that he is consciously, very consciously, racing to the bottom. He thinks that there's people down there to get. I think he and the people around him know exactly what they're doing. Except for the really stupid ones. I think this is basically a coalition of the stupid and the evil. Now, the Orange Menace is literally stupid about a lot of things. He doesn't care to know about history or government or anything like that. But mostly, I think the dude is just evil because, I don't know, because he was dropped on his head because his dad never hugged him. For whatever reason, I feel sorry for the guy. Nobody would be happier if he had a Ebenezer Scrooge moment tomorrow. Nobody would be happier than me. I'd give him a big old hug and say, welcome to the human race. But until that happens, we just have to stop him. And I think he knows what he's doing. I think it's a race to the bottom, and he knows it. He's betting. He's putting down a bet that that's where we are. He thinks that there are enough Americans who are just nihilists. They don't want to know the truth. He's betting on nihilism. He's betting on post-truth. He's betting on hate. He thinks there are enough Americans that have hate in their hearts, and just have no redeeming attributes left. He's betting on racism and xenophobia. He's betting on idiocy. He's betting on it. He thinks that's where his success is. And we just have to prove him wrong. We have to prove him wrong. We're not a nation of nihilists. We're not a nation who's going to accept that truth is passé. We're not a nation that's going to prefer hate over love. We're not a nation that's going to embrace racism and xenophobia. We're not a nation that's going to embrace idiocracy. But that's what he's betting on. I honestly believe that. And that's why he goes lower and lower and lower every damn day. Because that's what he's betting on. We have to prove him wrong. Or maybe he's right. Maybe he'll win this bet. Maybe we have sunk this low. I guess we'll find out. All right. That's the show. This episode is available wherever you find your podcasts, or go to the website, charlespurcell.com, for this and all the other episodes and the other titles as well. Contact me, charlespurcell@gmail.com. Follow on Facebook. Thanks to our flagship terrestrial station, River West Radio, riverwestradio.com. Theme music composed and performed by Peter Donalds. All right. Take care. Love you.